Hiya, everybody. I want to introduce you to Erica. And we're in the middle of a coaching call. It's week 7. And just talking about how when we allow the Holy Spirit to be at the center of our Christian weight loss program and the difference of, what's happening in comparison to just, going along with some kind of a diet. And anyway, I want to turn it over to Erica, and she's going to just share a little bit of what she's been experiencing, especially in the midst of the holidays right now.
Yeah, so my biggest thing used to be the holiday time would be, it was always a food fest and we would always have food everywhere, at work, we'd have food all over, we'd have food days, treat days, and it would be like a whole week when we had food. And so my thing was before we started this program, I was just really struggling with my obsession with food all the time. It's like all I thought about was food all the time. What am I going to eat next? What am I going to, what am I going to have? I mean, I was thinking about what I was going to eat all the time. And not always good food either, it wasn't the best things in the world. And it's like I had said that when I used to smoke, I used to think about that next cigarette. When am I going to get that next cigarette? It was the same way with food. I couldn't get it out of my head. It was like constantly I was thinking about food. And we're now at week 7 and I'm not thinking that way. It's like I'm not thinking about food all the time. I'm thinking more about God. I'm thinking about how blessed I am to have certain food in my house. Now it's like, I'm looking at food so differently where before, I was thinking about that next sweet treat, or now I'm like, oh, a banana, yum, or an apple, or whatever it happens to be. I'm not thinking about food nonstop. But if I go to eat, I'm just eating because I know it's good for me. And I know I'm pleasing God in it too, where before I was pleasing my flesh,
Yeah.
you know, and my lust. And so my obsession with food was really bad. It was really bad. I mean, I was desperate, to be honest. I was desperate. And I know that God sent me here for that reason. He knew I needed to get over this obsession. And no other diets out there have done that for me. None.
Praise
In
God.
fact, they made it worse. They made it worse, really. Because then that's where I think I got that struggle, was nonstop thinking about food, because a lot of the diets don't work on that part of you.
Hmm.
They don't work on they don't work on the soul part of you. That's
Right.
what I'm
Again,
thinking.
the mind, the will, and the
The
emotions.
mind, the will, and the emotions. Yeah.
Always
Yeah.
just the food. Just the food.
Right. Yeah.
Well, thank you
Yeah.
for sharing that,
Sure. I just
Erica.
hope it helps someone
It's so
else.
important because that's the biggest barrier, right? Is when we decide that, we want to see the weight come off
Yep.
and we look for something new. We certainly don't want to drive ourselves into more frustration, right?
Gosh, no.
And if we
Mhm.
can go about a program that's gonna allow for us to first have peace of mind, then that's the biggest thing right there.
That's the biggest word right there, was
Yeah.
peace of mind.
Yeah, we don't want to feel like we're running or like we're boxing our way through, like everything's a have to, and it's so
Yes, it was
tiring.
awful. Yeah.
There's
Yeah, it was awful. It really wasn't a this has been very, it's funny, it's almost like this word keeps coming up, but it's actually been joyful.
beautiful.
The program's been joyful, not, painful like most of them are.
Yeah.
This has not been that way. It's like I can't wait to do the next lesson
Oh, praise the
because
Lord.
it's so good. It's just so good. So
All right. Well, thank you for sharing that.